with the entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. My operational definition, it's more harder, it's more true, it's maybe shocking, but it's real. Entrepreneurship is hard, and it's only for only the best who will survive. It's a fact. Now we have like a worldwide statistic that shows us that 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first year of their creation, which is a real indicator. This is a confirmed data for Europe, for US, for also Africa, and this is something serious because I see and I hear a lot of people talking about this fashion of entrepreneurship, be willing to be entrepreneur. Yes, but we don't need to sell the wrong product. The right product is that entrepreneurship is hard, and the facts are here. I will give you some explanation about this. There are the top 20 of the reasons why startups are failing today in the world. And you see that in the top 3, we have 3 important topics: no market needs, run of cash, and the right team. So we have the market, the money, and the people. And the other, and when you see the other 17 reasons are completely linked to those 3 first ones. This is something very important. Why this slide, why I'm talking about this? When you know the reasons, you will avoid them. You will be aware about how to face your entrepreneurship project, how to face the difficulties, how to plan, and how to manage the problems that you will face. I'm not talking only about the market or the fit of your products. I'm also talking about the people, because when you start a business, don't forget that you have people around you and you need to choose them, and you need to have the right ones surrounding you. Now let's move to entrepreneur, and it's something that it looks like fancy today. When you talk to someone, yes, I'm entrepreneur, I'm CEO and founder. Yes, I just launched my startup. Yes, I'm looking to be my own boss. Yes, I would like to earn more money. I would like to work less. I have enough from my boss. Yes, there are all bad excuses. Sorry for this, to launch your business. An entrepreneur, first of all, he's someone who needs to be educated. It's necessary to have a background. It's necessary to be involved within circles of people who are familiar with entrepreneurship. Sometimes, and you see the topic number 1, people don't, I will be the next Steve Jobs, I will be the next Jack Ma, I will be the next Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, but it's not always the truth. You have first to finish your school before starting your entrepreneur journey. You need to be educated. You need to know how the business is made, and how you need to manage it. Second point is to be convinced that if you don't motivate yourself, no one will do it for you. It's something very important, trust me, because sometimes you feel yourself alone, and all the world is against you. You have a problem with the tax, you have a problem with the bank, you have a problem with the clients, you have a problem with you all day, 27. And this is something very important that we need to know, that if you don't motivate yourself every day, you will be not prepared for the challenges that you will face you. Third point, sometimes I also hear now, certainly with these ecosystems of startups, that there is no need for money. Only a good idea is sufficient to launch my unicorn. Okay, maybe, but not in our real world. Today, money is key. I'm talking about the real DNA of what is entrepreneurship. If your company are not cash-minded, you will not survive. It's like having a fancy car without having the money to put gas on it. It's something real that sometimes you need to think before starting a business. And we will talk about this later because it's very important. Sometimes also we see people starting businesses just to look like bosses. Big cars, big offices, expensive clothes, fancy restaurants and hotels. It's not about a lifestyle. It's about a journey, and you need to feed and to pay for it. So please keep it low and be focused on the project and the purpose of your company. Sometimes also people think that working for yourself, working for ourselves, it's easy, and I can work remotely from coffee from home 2-3 hours a day, and it's enough to run my business. Sorry, guys, I have started my entrepreneur journey since like now 8 years. And trust me, I used to work like 14 hours a day, including my weekends, my vacations. You are always solicited, and this is something very important to know. People are thinking, okay, I have enough of my job. I'm working like 8-10 hours a day, and there is no recognitions. I will quit my job and go and start a business. Wrong decision. Working for yourself will keep you very more hours than you can imagine. Sometimes I'm also thinking that people are not believing in their project. And his business, you don't see this flame in his eyes. People are not sometimes confident on what they are doing. They are not trusting their project. They are even not trusting themselves. And you can see it directly in their eyes. So please take time to prepare yourself, to be sure that what you are fighting for is really what you want. Because imagine yourself a client, I can see it perfectly in your eyes. I can see it perfectly in your behaviors. I can see it perfectly in the weaknesses of your offer. So please take in consideration this point. It's something very important. Sixth point, it's something very important also. Ego is your first enemy. And trust me, and this is key, ego is your first enemy. If you think that you are Superman, Batman, or even Spider-Man, you are completely wrong. Entrepreneurship is a constant and a permanent educational process. You will learn every day, every minute, every second. Not only from the experience of the others, the insights or your own mistakes, but you will learn also from your market. Please check your ego at the door. It's key for your success. And the last point is it's the positive part of this journey of being an entrepreneur is the success. Being an entrepreneur is also a positive mindset. It's great feelings. It's like a constant dopamine that you will get facing and solving problems, helping people to grow, helping your customers and your clients, innovating, creating new products, launching new businesses. It's such rewarding, and this is the real great part of the journey. but like you see, it's the last phase, the last step, not the first one. Sometimes people, I'm giving my trainings in French and also in Arabic, but I will try to explain it in English. Sometimes people are telling me, Adil, you are not so optimistic. Yes, sometimes you need to be realistic, and certainly in business. Business is real. It's a real thing. We are not looking at movies or reading books of successful entrepreneurs. We are not even in front of YouTube motivational speakers. It's real. A lack of realism in your vision will cost you money tomorrow and credibility, which is more than money. Because when you are not credible on your market, you are done. You are done. And you have to be very aware about this. Yes, being optimistic is important, but realistic also is very, very, very important in your entrepreneur journey. And the magic happens when you create this balance between the two. Now we will move to our second part of the presentation. I had with the teams of Africa Business School this topic about, Adil, can you give us a view about what are the business, what are the opportunities today within Morocco, within Africa, within the world, etc. And I think this is something very, very dangerous to say. I'm talking about myself, because pretending that you have all this data, all this information concerning all these markets, it's not my way of doing. I will introduce you to something very important, which is the truth today about our markets, and I'm talking worldwide. VUCA is something that you need to be very familiar with starting from now, and we have seen this with this COVID-19 phenomena that changed all our vision and all our perception about the business around the world, not only in Morocco, Africa, but around the world. And VUCA, it's a military concept that starts since the 18th, and where we start thinking that there is no templates. There is no role model, there is no business plan that can today face this phenomena, this VUCA world where we are living. And VUCA is like you see volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. I will explain those 4 points, and we will go to a magnific video that I found also that can explain us very clearly what we are facing, where we are living today, and what we will be our focus certainly in entrepreneurship for the next decades. So 2 simple questions, and they are very clear. The first one, how we can predict our actions. The second one, how much we know about each situation. In the 2 cases, you see that we are facing 4 parameters. The first one is complexity. Now, taking decisions, it's not like easy that we think. We need to take in consideration a lot of factors, a lot of variabilities. And this is something that we have to face starting from today. Now, I don't know the word in French, in English, but all the companies now are working on their PCA, plan de continuité opérationnel, PCA. And this is something that we need to plan before, not after a disaster, or a pandemic, or a problem. We have to analyze this, and we have to be very clear about this point also. Ambiguity. Today, everyone is talking about everything, But we know that sometimes we don't have the right description about the situations. And this is key also, to use simple words, simple concepts, simple definitions to have the right vision about what we are facing. Volatility. I would like to explain you this with a very simple thing. Imagine yourself running a big business, running a five-star hotel. Everything is okay, everything is fine, you are doing well, your business is incredibly doing well, and from a day to another comes a virus like COVID-19. What happens? Everything stops. Zero turnover, zero clients, zero revenue. And this is something that we need to put today on our minds, to put today on our strategies. Volatility is now a reality. We cannot stay without challenging the unexpected. And this is the role of a manager. This is the role of an entrepreneur, is to try every day to expect what we will come, what we will come. Uncertainty is also something that we are now living. I'm fighting about this concept since like 8 years now, and we have a real case today. Uncertainty, because when you talk to people and when we start asking about the planification for the future, people are opening Excel files and they are trying to show you some figures. And we know that the reality is not always the figures. We need to be like step by step minded. We need to be focused on short and middle term objectives, because long term objectives are no more tangible. They are no more accessible for us because things are moving so fast. Sometimes I'm also giving these examples of our parents who were talking about giving a business to their child. They are looking for businesses like for 10 years, 20 years. Today we know that the business can maybe live for 3-5 years maximum, because the business is changing, because the world is changing, because all the consumption parameters that we have are changing, because the typology of the consumer also is changing. So this is something very, very important, and this is something that we need to understand and to put on our strategies, on our DNA, I would say, because everything is about this. For giving you more explanation about this, I have prepared a video, something very simple, takes 4 minutes, and please look at what people now are looking around the world, and look how they are preparing the post-COVID and the future of their businesses. I hope that you enjoyed the video. You hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Sure, it's
Very
very interesting.
And,
Yes, it is.
and as you see, it's all about resilience, evolution, disruption, creativity, agility. This is our new world. This is how it works, guys. No one can today gives you a vision about a market or a vision about a business or the evolution of a business. You need to be involved in, and you need to be involved, aware about what happens today to our economies, our systems, our mentalities, what is inside our companies. It's all about this. It's all about this new era of doing business within our continents and countries. Now, like we have seen in the video, there is a lot of things, a lot of concepts that we have already seen in the operational definition, I would like to say, concerning entrepreneurship and what is a real entrepreneur today, an operational one. And today, my third topic will be how we can manage ourselves, our company, our teams to face this new era of doing business. First of all, we have to be very clear and very straight answering ourselves. And it's I love a word which is very simple. If it works, don't fix it. Do it simple, please. Let's do it. Let's do things simple, and let's start down. Let's start from scratch. Having the right questions for ourselves. You have here 4 questions. They are magic. They gives you an added value for you, for your teams, for your business. And please take enough time to ask yourself those questions. And please do it with your teams also. This is really, really, really benefit for you. Second point. An entrepreneur without a vision is like someone dreaming in his bed. So please execute your vision. This is the difference between a dreamer and an achiever. Is this execution? Yes, we have to dream. We have to think about the future. Yes, we have to look around to see what happens in the US, in China, in India, in Brazil, in Australia. Yes, I'm totally agree. We need to stay open, but we need to stay also focused. Focus on our vision. This is something very important also. I love this topic because it says everything. Avoid the analysis paralysis. Sometimes when I'm coming from a French system, and in the French system we have this beautiful ideas of sitting on meetings all the day, like 10 times per week. We have meetings. We analyze. We look at the topics, we look at the figures, we look at the analysis, we look at this. Yes, okay. But we need sometimes also to avoid this paralysis. We need to work because our real value is being on the field, creating value. We are not analysts. It's a fabulous job that I respect. They are plenty qualified to do analysis, but we are not. We are entrepreneurs, and we need to take enough analysis for action, not just for fun or for losing time. Time is money, like you know. We have seen in the point concerning the behaviors, or what is an entrepreneur, that sometimes we have this lack of self-confidence. That sometimes we don't know if we are really involved in the right way or not. That we will finish what we start. It's something very important. If you don't trust yourself, please take time to get back to your roots, to get back to your business plan, to get back to your drafts, and to take care of this flame, of this energy that is feeding your business. And sometimes also it's important to create this balance between ideas and expectations. We are sometimes looking at the moon and having the power of a mouse. We need to fit. We need to be really realistic about our expectations and our ideas, because it's something very important. Something very important. And long terms are one of those topics who can help you to manage between the opportunity that you can have in a market and another opportunity that you can have in another market, and the time management between the two can give you more flexibility and more vision about what you are doing. If we can take in consideration 3 words who are vision, action, and commitment, they are really what you have to do every day. Who clear is your vision, who accurate will be your action, and who strong will be your commitment. This is something very clear. And you need to be the first ambassador within your company fighting for this. Because when you will establish this culture within your business, you will completely succeed. Sorry. Sometimes starting a business needs a business plan, needs financial plan, an operational plan, a media plan, marketing plan, a human resource plan. Yes, all is good, but sometimes you need to be aware that the fine-tuning can change everything, but only when it's necessary. When we are involved in the daily business of your company, you forget sometimes to go back to your plans and to see how you can fine-tune in order to be more effective and more within your markets. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Hadi.
Yes. Time is running, and I had this fourth discussion with the teams of Africa Business School, and they were asking me, Adil, can you help us to monitor some research topics for our PhD candidates? It can be great if you can hear you about this and that. Okay. I have some topics that can be very interesting in our context and also in the near future, and that can also give you the opportunity to be very in conformity with what the market is looking for, and also the companies. Concerning the business administration, I have stated five topics. The first one is the effect of advertisement on consumer behaviors. This is something very important. People now are looking on they are all connected on their smartphones. They are very sensitive to all this communication streams that we have, and this is very important to be focused on this, because tomorrow, when you will be very skilled on this topic, you will be very rare on the market. The impact of wages on employee productivity, and this is something very, very real also. Clear about your wages policy can improve the productivity of your teams. It's not the only thing, but you can also, with the great management, with the great leadership skills, versus a great wage strategy, you can be very productive. Strategic management and productivity. Today, this is a lack in our African economies, in our SMEs, in our economies. We have this lack between the two. Staff motivation. I'm sitting on this human resource topic because it's very important. A company is great, a product is great, but if you don't have the right people at the right place, or if you don't take care of your clients, they will not if your customers, they will not take care of your clients. It's something very important. Management and measuring of employee retention. People doesn't know that when someone is fired or when someone is leaving the company, the company is losing money, because training people, hiring the people, monitoring the people, managing the people costs money. And when someone is leaving the company, or when you are firing the people, or you are not having a clear recruitment process, the company loses. Like I've seen a recent study, like 6 months turnover when you are firing salespeople, which is huge. We need to be very clear about these things. These are propositions. So if there is, if someone needs more topics, I can perfectly provide it in this field of business administration. The second topic is the international business. And yes, we talk about this think globally, act locally. Yes, but how we can link this on social media, how we can communicate about this. Companies that have failed in the international market, this can be case studies that can help other companies to avoid their mistakes. Do governments profit from crisis? How governments can profit from crisis? And we are facing today a crisis in Morocco, like with this idea about converting the manufacturers, textile manufacturers, to mask manufacturers. It's one of the cases. Maybe we will face those kind of crises more often in the future, and maybe a topic like this can be very helpful and very interesting for government and also for companies. Small businesses that are guaranteed to succeed is something very important. You can be also a database for small and medium entrepreneurs that want to launch their businesses. What language could become international business language? And it's definitely English. And we know that we here in Morocco, we are a French-speaking economy. Now we are moving to very, very fast to an English-speaking economy, because our new markets will be in Africa and also in Asia, and we need to adapt our systems, our educational systems, and our economy, our administration to this language. Concerning the business management, a very important thing, it's the woman in entrepreneurship world. We still today we still have a big lack concerning this woman in entrepreneurship criteria, and this is something that can be very important. We are talking also about inter-organizational networks and leadership, crisis management. We are facing this right now. We are living it. Network markets, second most powerful business in the world. Network markets, it's very important. We need to also to provide studies and data concerning this topic. Social entrepreneurship, we are plenty fully on it. So we have also, it's something very important, and I encourage the students of the Africa Business School to look at this final point. It's something very powerful and with real issues. Business ethics. Now, to go and to be international is something very important. To have access to funding and to bank system, it's something important. To have the best people, to hire the best people to work for you, it's something very important. So I have here 5 propositions, and it's very important also to have a look on this, because it can be a very, very, very interesting topics to go with. So certainly, I see that the second one: can a big ethical mistakes lead a firm to bankruptcy? Yes, for sure. How? We can perfectly have a perfect study on this. Avoid sexual harassment in a workplace. Yes, we have laws, we have a justice system, but how we can avoid this at our level, within the company, within the corporate level. Small businesses. Maybe for our friends coming from other countries, in Morocco, 95% run by small businesses. And sometimes when I see analysis and when I see articles, they are only talking about the big guys having big multinationals, having like 300-400 people working on the plant, but it's not true. The real business is small business. There are small companies having 2, 3, 4 employees, creating value every day, spreading their energy, spreading their competences all over the country, all over the continent, and all over the world, and they are very important. There is a lack of studies concerning them. We don't know them. We just need them to be sustainable, because an economy, and we see what happens today within this COVID. Without the small businesses, the country will fall. So 5 topics. I take in consideration also these communication skills, because they don't invest enough money in their communication, because they think that the money needs to be put on the processes, on the production, on the sales. Yes, but we need to be also a great communicators within our small businesses. It's something very important. The niche business is something very important. Certainly now with this protectionism movement that we will face. Also, typology of products. What happens if businesses disappears from the market, and it will be a catastrophe, and it will be interesting to have a real study showing with facts, with figures, with numbers, what we will face if those small businesses disappears. The effect of image, consumer money, if the power in modern businesses. We have this misunderstanding between modern business and small business, and we need, certainly in our economies, I think that it's not the case in the US, for example, or in Europe, but we need to work on this point. Okay. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I was very rapid, because I think that we have a Q&A session, and I would like to have enough time to put all your questions.
I'm Professor Dilip talking to you, Adil. And now onwards, I'm opening this platform for my students, who is having a lot of questions connected to your presentation. It was a wonderful presentation. So let me open this platform for my students' interaction to you.
Yes, please.
Hello, hello
Yes.
students. Hello students. Can you open up your questions to Adil directly?
Yes, it's Kautar, and I have a question related to the atmosphere of entrepreneurship in Morocco, because like for me personally, before joining the UNCSP, I didn't have any idea about the entrepreneurship, and I feel like the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in Morocco is kind of enclosed. So I want just more insights on the atmosphere of entrepreneurship in Morocco in general. Thank you.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to be very clear. Entrepreneurship, like you see it certainly in the beginning of my presentation, it's not a game. It's not a trend. It's not a way of living. It's a serious thing. And you know, today the people who are, for example, waiting that the administration, the banks will help them to start a business, they will fail, because starting a business is starting first with with a great idea, helping people to change their daily life. You need to find solutions, and when you find the solutions, trust me, you will find money, and you will find people who will help you. And people today, we have this phenomena which is not fair. This phenomena of promoting startups, promoting these incubators, promoting those funds, and people are not working enough. We are transforming our entrepreneurs to pitchers. They all have PowerPoint projects. They are great in their presentation. They have done fabulous business plans, but we have missed something very important. They don't have contracts. They don't sign contracts. They don't sell their products. The most important thing today is to start with the MVP, minimum viable product of project, to test first. And if you test, I would like to give you an advice: fail fast. If something doesn't work, it needs to fail very fast, because when it fails very fast, you can really go and find another way, or to fine tune, or to adapt your project. But having this idea about the entrepreneurship being like an organization dedicated to rich people or to connected people in our country, it's not true, because there is a lot of opportunity, and I can help you finding those opportunities if you want.
There is a question. There is a question, Adil, from Dr. Normala from Malaysia. She's asking whether during this pandemic situation, how the status of SMEs, and whether they have to depend closely on the government support system or monetary support system to move on, or they are going to face big issues connected closing down of business. So the ecosystem, connecting with Kautar's the question, she is asking how it is possible in these pandemic days, whether it is the survival is tough or the survival is difficult, how to manage.
And we have seen in the presentation that 9 of 10 businesses are failing or are dying within the first year, which is normal. And now we have this second issue, which is the crisis. So for being very realistic, we will lose a lot of small and medium businesses within this crisis. Why? Because they don't have enough cash flow to face this slowdown. They don't have enough cash flow to face the problem of taxes that they need to pay, that the wages, the salaries. And this is something very important to take in consideration. Now, let's move to our VUCA conception of what will be the business tomorrow, what is the business today, and what will be the business tomorrow. And without resilience, evolution in your value proposition, without this disruption that we have seen in some industries, in some companies, in some SMEs, without being creative, we have seen some companies who are involved in I would like to say in grocery, and now they are doing masks, and also this agility, being able to be very adaptive to our markets. This is key. This is why we need those SMEs, because they have also this capacity. We will also lose big companies. Look what happens around the world. So now facing this crisis is being resilient first and then creative. This is my advice. And if someone says that there is a plan, it's a liar, because even the biggest guy around the world doesn't have a plan B for this pandemic.
One interesting question, Adil. It's maybe funny to you, but it's a very serious question. Entrepreneurs are dying. There is no scope for next 3 years because of the pandemic. So how you respond to it to give motivation to those people who are pessimistic in this profession?
Yeah, the only motivation when you are an entrepreneur, a real one, I'm talking about real ones. You have this resilience, and you know that failure is a part of the game. If you are not risking, you will not win. And I'm really thinking that, like in all the crises that we have faced in the past, that we will, the best ones, the most creative ones, will restart new businesses, will restart new adventures. Maybe they will go back to find a job within a company. Maybe they will have to change their fancy apartment to a small apartment. They will have to change the city. But this is completely normal in the life of a real entrepreneur. Life is not linear. Life is up and downs. And we are down today. And the best news of the day is that when you are down, there is one option: is going up. So I stay very optimistic, but only for those who will move who will work hard to save themselves and their teams and their families from this crisis.
Adil?
It's all about work. It's all about work.
Mr. Adil, I have a question, please. Mr. Mark has a question.
Adil, I think Dil's question was, what of the entrepreneurs who die of COVID-19? Could you talk a little about succession planning?
Yeah, I have the succession. You want to do about the succession?
I think that was that's the way I understood Dil's question.
I have understood that they are died, that they are closing, that they are going bankruptcy.
Okay, well, no, I think
I will give you an answer. The problem within the SMEs and those small companies is that the boss is the center of the world. And when the center of the world is disappearing, we call it in French le roi soleil. And it's like the Louis XIV. He's in the center of all the processes. He's in the center of all the business. When he disappears, the business falls. And there is a big conflict, generational conflict with the childs and the successors. Because when you have a strong leader like we have very often in those SMEs, it's difficult to have this cohabitation between two bosses. And this is one of the lacks that we have in our SMEs, in our startups also. So it's always focused on one people, very close team. And when one of those people is living or dying, all the business is shutting down. And we have seen like hundreds of examples.
Mr.
Back
Ajay?
to you, Ahmed.
Yes.
Yeah, Prof. Mark, can you continue?
I was just, I mean, succession planning and exit strategies are important, but I would like to hand over to Ahmed now, please.
Yeah, but succession is not, it's not, you know, in the Moroccan culture or in our African culture, succession is only in the papers. When you are creating a company, legal papers, we have some clause that are talking about succession, but it's something very, very disinconvenient to talk within a structure. You know, imagine yourself going to your boss, like operational managers, say, okay, boss, if tomorrow you die, what will happen? It's like an insult in our cultures, in our way of, you know, because people are linking this to some religions, and it's very sensitive. And this is a great question, because these cultural aspects of what happens within within the companies is something that no one talk about. The relation between a father and a son in a company. And the two are from two different generations. And the two have a completely two different visions about the business. What happens? This is something very important. And I think that this transitivity between generations and this management of crisis, because the death is a crisis that we have also to face within the company. It's an excellent topic.
Thank you, Adil. And one question from Mr. Sahlan is asking, can you ask Sahlan what is the question?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ajay, for the presentation. So just I have a small question. You mentioned that entrepreneurs is a person who give us a solution. So in my opinion, okay, it's not a debate or something, it's just in my opinion, it's an innovator who give a solution. So what is the relationship between an innovator and an entrepreneurs? Because entrepreneurs is someone who open his own projects. And there's also social entrepreneurship, those one who just help for not too much benefits or a big benefits. So I want to understand the difference between three aspects of innovation and entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ahmed, thank you for this question. Sometimes an entrepreneur needs to answer to an existent need. Are we agree about this point?
Yes.
Because there is a lot of existent needs that they are not served by our local or SMEs. Are we agree also about this?
Yes, also.
A creative cannot be can be an entrepreneur, but not always. Sometimes I hear this creativity is more important than knowledge. Yes, but creativity without work, without resilience, without execution, stays like in a laboratory. It stays idea. It's like steam in a hammam, you know. When you are in a room with a lot of steam, you think that your room is empty, but it's not true. Try to take the steam with your two hands. You cannot.
Yeah.
So when you use your creativity for responding to a real need, an existing need within your market, serving the vision of your company, you are an entrepreneur. You are an innovative entrepreneur. But innovation is key, because you know what will happen, Ahmed?
Yeah.
There is a lot of people doing copycats. They watch you, they hate you, and they copy you. So if you are not creative, you will face the competition within 6 months maximum, within 3 months maximum.
But
because it's very fast. If you are not creative, you will face the ambiguity of the competitors. which is very, 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 very strong.
Yes, this is the point where comes in innovation.
Yeah.
For example, PCTs and on-peak and everything. So we can check our creativity if it already exists or not.
But Ahmed, trust me, creativity sometimes costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I see, and I have faced some situation where very big companies were in trouble because of the high budgets of creativity. You know, they were investing a lot of money without reward. So you have, like we have seen in the presentation, you have to create this balance between creativity and profitability. But if you stay like 3 years creating a new concept, please tell me how you will pay the wages at the end of the month. How you pay the rent of your company or your offices? It needs to be two processes. The process of creating the value, that it's a daily business, and the process of creativity, which is the guarantee that in the future you will stay competitive, that in the future you will stay facing the attacks of your competitor.
Yeah.
And you will stay facing the needs of your clients and your market.
Thank you, Adil. And one more last question. We know that we have taken a little more time extra for you. Sorry. But one girl, our PhD research scholar, Umayma, would like to ask a question. Please, Umayma.
Thank you, Mr. Adi, for your presentation. I'm just want to share a kind of reflection. Do you know that entrepreneurship in Morocco is a subject that's still suffering from mindset of risk? We see that there are many initiatives in Morocco from government, from NGOs to help and to develop the entrepreneurship to face the employment that we have in Morocco. But the problem that we have here, even I know some people in India, they say the money is here, but we don't have creative ideas. We don't have project proposals that will answer for the needs for our society. So first of all, how we can, and we still facing this mindset of risk that we don't have. Even in my generation, they don't have it. They say, okay, we found just a job in public sector and I am okay. But this problem about entrepreneurship, it needs to have all packaging of mindset, first of all, and also even people that we motivate them to go to the entrepreneurship, they still have a problem about have a creative idea and a less knowledge, or to have a continued knowledge and a creative idea. So that's why I think that we have too much project that they feel here in Morocco, because we still have facing this risk, the mindset of risk. And even now with the pandemic, it can, for example, a kind of improvement that they were thinking right, but in the same time we are losing jobs. So how we can change this mindset from this crisis to have a good entrepreneur in the future? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Umayma, for this question. I think that the solution, you mentioned it, the government has given money, given opportunities, given platforms, everything is here, but we don't find people who are qualified or have enough operational ideas to start businesses. But the problem is clear for me. When you talk entrepreneurship and when you start feeding those entrepreneurs with the love of money, because it's like I like you, I give you money, it doesn't work. Like we have seen, an entrepreneur needs to go and to fight first. And one of the best questions that I had in my life with a big guy, Mark Peasons, a guy who is now president of 300 people around the world, one of the biggest CEOs in the world. One day he was telling me, Adil, how many companies did you crash? And I was like shocked. My heart was like beating like 200 per minute. I say, what, please, can you repeat the question? I cannot understand what you had just said. You say, Adil, how many companies did you crash? I say, what do you mean by crash? They say, bankruptcy. How many times did you die? How many times did you close your office? How many times do you need to fire people because you don't have enough money to pay them? I say, sorry. I was shocked. I say, this is how we create entrepreneurs. Like I said to you, we need to find people that they have started and failed. And we need to analyze why they have failed. Is this a question about the people, the companies that are not paying on time? Because we know that this is a big problem in our countries. Huh? You sign a contract that people telling you that he will pay you within 2 weeks, and you stay waiting for your money like 6 months. It will kill you. People who are running businesses like they are kings, big offices, big cars, big charges, big wages, fancy furniture. No, this is the best way to lose money. This is the best way to crash a company. We need to go to see why and where are those startups, those companies that are failed, and we need to analyze and to help them to restart their businesses. This is one of the best ways of helping entrepreneurship in our country. But now, having these platforms, presentations, I have been in all of them. You see like 10 people coming with a PowerPoint and explaining you that they will change the world, that they have the best idea of the world. At the end of the day, you see that this is a simple copycat of what they have seen in the US, in Europe, or in Asia. Why I will found them? Why I will help them? They are copycats. The creative, today, the best thing is to create value for the daily businesses that in our neighborhood first, then in our city, then in our country. We have a lot of opportunities within our own ecosystem. Why we will go and we will start looking at very complicated business models, very complicated concepts, being like 10 years before the adoption of our citizens of this kind of projects. It's all about this. And the problem is that we have people given this money who are not entrepreneurs. They are from the administration. They have never ever created a company. They have never ever have an idea about what happens in the field, how it works, what is the stress to have like 100 people in your payroll at the end of the month. What is the stress to not be ready to deliver to your customer? They cannot face those kind of sensitive things that are key in case of creating a company. And there is a lot of big and interesting ideas that can be improved with the help of professionals, of operational people, of real entrepreneurs that are really involved in the real life with real experience. Okay, Umayma?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you.
It's easy to feed the entrepreneurs with fish, but I think that the best way is to learn them how to fish.
That's a great message.
With a great monitoring system. I love this American way of doing business. They have mentors everywhere. Look what you are doing today within your business school, having my little experience exposed to your PhD candidates. This is great. This is how it works. I'm talking real. And if you are going to see and to learn how it goes, I will say, in the academic world, you can find everything on Google. But what we need today is to have a mix, because academic is very important, but the operational also is very important. So we need to mix definitely between the two. We cannot have the two in nowadays this vision about doing a business plan alone in a room or in a university. It's not something that we can understand today. We need to mix between the real and academic, operational, strategic, communication, sales. We need to create those two gaps, and trust me that we will improve the quality of our ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Adil. Thank you so much for your presence over here to motivate our students to imbibe the knowledge of entrepreneurial journey from your vast experience.
I have a gift for you guys.
Oh,
you can go and download my book for free on my platform. I will. It's very hard. You will read it and you will give me a feedback. And it starts. The name of the book is Start from scratch. Like we have say start from zero. Startdown.na. It's free. You can download it for free. I just put and for people who wants to stay in touch with me, I will also put you my email. So please feel free if you have any other questions. I'm here for you for helping you guys, and it's the part of my contribution to your success and to my country, because I had so much things from experienced people. So it's my time also to give my small experience to you.
Thank you, Adil. And I just want to recollect what you have given the message to my students. They're loving students. They just joined their PhD program, and we are trying our level best to integrate the functional knowledge to the research knowledge. So I feel that the last message you have given is the absolute message. You cannot go along with academics. Academics give you the data. The academics give you the data, and definitely if you want to really understand the complexity and at the same time the volatility or ambiguity or uncertainty, go to the field and touch the real scenarios. That was the exact message you have given. And in the first session, the minutes, and likewise you have mentioned about the changing business patterns and the structure. It's very short term in nature. It's very short term in nature, and we cannot plan long term things. And likewise nowadays. So this is the message you have given to the students, connecting the VUCA. Absolutely. Today morning hours itself, I was talking to my students. It's a journey from non to unknown, from that unknown to once again back to known, then once again unknown. So the complexity and the dynamic nature of the problems continuously it is reshaping. So today's plan is outdated plan. Day after tomorrow, new plan. They
need to understand that they need to face a daily business plan. They need to change their mind every day.
We talk about a business plan for 4 years, 5 years, and likewise nowadays, daily business plan is important thing for an entrepreneur. That's a great message. And you also talked about giving up the traditional pattern of interactions, and you look at the changing strategy, changing structure, changing systems, changing staffs. It's very important in the volatile thing. And you also talked about the interconnectedness, where you don't look at this is most important message. I got it through your interaction. It is a very great message for my students, and in which three factors very important. One is creativity, and second is agility, and the third is resilience. These three words you have given is amazing thing. It takes some time for them to digest the meaning of these big words you have mentioned. Hopefully your book will be giving this idea about it. And you also given the difference between a dreamer and an achiever. That what makes a difference is execution. Absolute execution. So people get academic knowledge, but execution is a different ball game. So students should know about it. And always, it's not the factor stay open. Stay open will give you awareness, but most important is stay focused. That is another message you have given to us. So let the students be stay focused always by understanding the scenario. And you also mentioned another message, revisit the vision. It's important. The vision which is not capable enough to move means that once again you have to revisit the vision and create a kind of new vision statement for the business, and give an example of okay, I failed the entrepreneurship, but for a while I'll work, then I will come back with a different vision statement, I will move on. A lot of messages given to
we have sometimes people that are changing their vision like they are changing their socks. You know, they every day they have a new vision. So sometimes the teams are not very aligned with the vision. Why? One day we are going to the north, and the other night we are going to the south, and are not aligned with this vision.
Exactly.
Vision is important.
You have made a very good term like copycat leaders. They get the business models from somewhere which is not applicable in Moroccan context, and likewise they just want to copy it down without understanding the culture, values, system, people, and expectations of Moroccans. So this is one issue, the great term here. And another message given is time is money. Time is money. And you need to look at every second you are spending. It's for creating values, at the same time creation of the profit. This to be in a balanced equation. For that, you suggested our students to be absolute vision oriented, action oriented, and committed. This is exactly the three terms you made, and every day you have to do that interconnectivity of vision, action, and commitment. And you need to have a balance of creating value and creativity. This is exactly, you try to give Aslan the answer. It's not creativity alone, creating value, balancing to the business, balancing with the creativity, otherwise you will get into the loss mode. Yeah. All right. And then somebody asked me, Umayma asked about the mindset of risk. You have given a wonderful answer. And this is exactly the message given. How many companies did you? And I am telling you, many people don't dare to talk about it. Really, they don't want to talk about it. It's a scary part of any business because they're going to lose everything in life. It's a high risk mentality. So there is entrepreneurial orientation is very important. Risk-taking behavior, proactivity, openness, confrontation, a lot of things required. At the same time, they should show their resilience, absolute resilience also. So the thing which last message given is the difference between an administrative person who is funding the money and the person who is going to spend the money. There is a disconnect. So we need to completely align with expectations of these two and try to follow that pattern. And I'm sure the students have wonderfully got a lot of messages from you. And I'm so thankful on the behalf of Africa Business School, Dr. Yunus, the Vice Dean. He won't be able to attend. He's extremely into this crisis period and the decision making of OCP, and likewise the things involved. He won't be able to. And so on the behalf of him and on the behalf of our entire research school, and let me thank you so much, Adil, to come down for a short interaction and motivating our students to get it. And we expect your continuous mentoring. If there is a probability, even when short time itself, your presence itself makes much difference. So they get motivated. You like serial entrepreneurs. And I know that you are into advisory mode and likewise getting very little time. Still, that little time itself is giving so much of message to us now. Hopefully you will be with us in the future.
I hope so. And I will be always available for you guys.
Thank you so much, Adil. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Take care. Stay safe and stay in touch. Best
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day, Mr. Ali.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.